What's up, everyone? So today's look is a two-toned blue-green moment with the Avatar and Lethal Cosmetics collab they came out with last year. So I'm starting with foundation. This is the coverfx Power Play foundation in N20. It's the one I've been using for the last handful of looks. And while I am doing my foundation, I do just want to talk about these palettes because I've had this collab for close to over 6 months, well over 6 months. This is Tarte's Creamy Shape Tape in 22B. I've had this collection for a while and I have only barely touched them. I love Lethal Cosmetics quality. I love their color stories. I just have been in a rut. And so I said, fuck it, let's go nuts and play with them today. Brows, I'm going with my tried and true combination of the Goofproof pencil and the Foolproof powder, both from Benefit. But yeah, I just really wanted to play with these palettes. I haven't had a chance to play with them or even swatch them. And I forgot how much I genuinely love Lethal Cosmetics. So after my eye primer, I'm going to start with the green eye. And I'm starting with the shade 575, which is the lightest of the matte greens. And ultimately, this is going to go all over my crease as sort of my base color before going in with the shade Bossing Say, which is the mid-tone green of the palette. My initial concept was to do like a striped gradient kind of situation, and then I gave up on that to go for a smoky eye. So ultimately, it's going to be 575 as like the outer layer, like the outermost part of the gradient, Bossing Say to be that transitional color, and then here I'm going in with the shade Washi Tong, which is the deepest green of the palette, and that's the shade I'm using to really get the smoky eye going. And I'm just going back and forth between both of the lighter mattes to get a nice gradient going. And now I'm taking that deep green Washi Tong through my lower lash line before blending it out with the other two greens, just like I did on the upper lid. And then for the blue palette, I'm starting with the shade Penguin Sledding. Same process. So I'm taking the lightest shade all over my crease, as you'll see. I'm gonna go in with the mid-tone blue in the shade Water Whip, just to get a definition there, to get that gradient started. And I'll just go back and forth between those two shades just to get a nice gradient going, a nice blend going, before going into the deepest blue, the shade Wolf Cove, in my outer corner and lower lash line, and just getting that blend how I want it. And I do blow these out quite a bit. That's one of my favorite parts about smoky eyes, is just going like kind of nuts and balls out with the blending. I like that vibe, so that's what I do. Even though the green eye kind of just looks like I'm jaundiced, but you know, whatever. Alright, so I am taking concealer over my lids just to get a nice base for the metallics that I'm going to go in with. So for the green eye, I start with the shade Kiyoshi on sort of the ball of my lid, the very center of it. I do ultimately go over top of the outer corner a little bit with metal bending. And then for the green eye, I'm starting with the shade Karuk and taking that pretty much all over the lid before tapping into Agnicala for my very inner corner, because I just wanted that bright inner corner effect. And I am going to go back into the deepest shades from both palettes just to, again, define that outer corner a little bit more. So for liner, for the blue eye, I'm taking the NYX Epic Wear Liner in Turquoise Storm. For the green eye, it is the NYX vivid rich liner in. It's giving Jade. And then I do go into the shade UA on both eyes for my inner corner. It is just the most beautiful silvery gold highlight situation. It just really united both looks beautifully. For blush, I take 2 shades. So the first is from the Bridgerton collab with Pat McGrath in the shade Nymphette. And I do go over top of that with Warm Soul from MAC just because there's no such thing as too much blush. And then I do go back on top of that with my Super Shock highlighter in Seismic, my tried and true holy grail. I will cry when I run out of this. I do curl my lashes off camera. Here I'm just going in with my mascara. It's the Lancome Monsieur Big. Again, I'm just trying to pan this and get it out of my collection because I don't love it. I am not a falsies kind of bitch, so for me, I will just layer up the mascara. If you are a falsies kind of bitch, go nuts. I'm not, so I don't. Lip liner is from NYX's Suede Matte lip range, and it is in the shade Soft Spoken. It is just a really beautiful neutral mauve kind of color. And I am going to go right on top of that with the Maybelline Vinyl Ink liquid lipstick in the shade Cheeky, which is a surprisingly close match to the shade of lip liner. Did not think they were that close, and in fact they are quite similar. But that is ultimately the look. All I'm doing now is going over my moles and beauty marks with some brown liner because I can, and why not? But that is the look. I hope you guys liked this. Let me know if there's anything you guys want to see. Otherwise, have a good one.